You're not going to start this show with some random statement?
I like how you're just talking over the thing.
Oh, my bad.
Thank you for that. Scumbag. It's my birthday. And it's Black History Month. You're terrible. You're a horrible
It's not your birthday anymore.
It's my birthday. My whole
And
week.
we're live on the Touchdowns and Tangents show.
Yo, what's going on? This is so meta right now.
What the hell was that?
Yeah, and we're live on Touchdowns and Tangents. I don't know what happened,
I'm
but
freaked out, but I'm not getting...
KV just played an old episode, I guess.
I literally just grabbed a sound effect and I was like,
this is what happens when I show up late.
That's the first time that's ever happened where I've actually played like the wrong audio in the history of us ever doing podcasts together. So relax. Okay.
All right. Well, in case you don't know what you're listening to, this is Touchdowns and Tangents, your usual spot for takes, tangents, cultural context, NFL news, and plenty of petty.
Fam, you just said 3 words wrong.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, boy.
But
Back
yeah,
1,000 right now.
But yeah, man, it's Kenny's birthday episode. You're officially 3 years away from 30, so shout out to you. You're on the back end of 20. You can now round up to 30. Congrats.
First off, I could have done it at 26.
Yeah, but nah, I mean,
now it's inevitable at 27.
Yeah, now it's inevitable. Yeah,
but I mean,
you still could have passed for 25 at 26. Now,
I could still pass for. Somebody thought I was like 22 earlier this week. Somebody actually thought I was 20.
Maybe they were talking about your blood sugars.
Wow. But I mean, at least I got a bunch of free stuff.
But yeah, man, as always, we're live from the Good News radio station in Los Angeles. And also shout out to the Replay affiliates, FBC Radio, and X Squad affiliates for those of you listening across the country. And especially special treat for you Good News listeners tuned in right now. We got a giveaway coming up pretty soon.
Yep, speaking of free stuff, the good news and, you know, what Pete just said. So, yeah, we're having a contest giveaway. I don't like the way I just said contest. It's actually really easy. All you got to do is collect the secret words to complete the phrase. So just make sure you listen to Chill With Radio on Sunday at 5 p.m., then Brunch with Besties on Monday at 5 p.m., and then Ask Xena on Wednesday at 9 a.m. Okay,
wait. Let's back up. You, as the ambassador and GOAT of free stuff, I need some more energy from you.
First off, wait. I'm saving all my energy towards the end because I'm going to tell you all the stuff you're going to get. So don't interrupt me. Again,
you are on the Mount Rushmore of free stuff. I need more energy.
I'm the free stuff GOAT. It's been established. It's been confirmed. I know people who literally got married. But anyway, so yeah, the first person to complete the phrase and then send a DM or email with the correct answer wins. Guess what? You want to guess, Pete? What? Good News crew neck sweater.
Hey!
Now, I just want everyone to know I'm currently wearing a Good News hoodie. Shout out to Keith, because the hat he gave me didn't fit my head, and my mom slandered me for a week.
And so did I.
Our secret word, the secret word, is good. GOOD.
Like Good Fridays, like good music, like the Good News radio station.
Yep, like it's really good that I saw another birthday and I got a bunch of free stuff. It's good that Pete actually has a respectable hairline this week, kind of. Good.
Yeah, man, a shout out to you for finally updating your Twitter profile pic and taking that catfish photo off.
First off,
2015 when you were 50 pounds lighter.
It was a good photo.
It was a good photo, but it was like 50 pounds ago.
But shout out to
you don't even have that suit anymore. You tried to wear it like last year.
No, the blazer got
Remember
too
you
big.
couldn't find it?
No, I can't find it.
Yeah, exactly. Catfish.
I think my mom just gave it away.
Catfish. And you didn't even have your glasses on, which was really catfish because you always have your glasses on.
Yeah, but that was when I was like working for Tavis Smiley. Good internship. Again, by the way, in case you didn't hear it, the word that you need to be paying attention to is good. As in, yeah, this is a really good start to the show so far. I'm proud of us. And shout out to Jackie for giving me a donut from Donas.
And just on
Did I say it right, Jackie? I said it right. Hey.
And just a spin-off of this whole thing.
You really got to stop wearing those glasses, by the way.
Take a drink every time you hear her say good.
Honestly, take a drink. Take a swig.
Take a drink.
Take a puff. pass that shit around. I mean, do what you got to do.
Okay.
You know, there's people who listen to the show high. Let's not pretend like they don't. I know a couple. I'm not gonna say you out, but you know, you owe me a birthday celebration.
But some of them are in your family.
Are you just calling my people?
I'm
my
not
family
snitching.
potheads?
I'm not trying.
You and Mike Keller both snitches. He went and said somebody like Big Mike or Ray or whatever on the air, and you called him a shooter, and you just said someone in my family smokes pot. Like,
yeah, why are you saying pot like you're a
I'm 27. I'm cultured. I'm an adult
like
now.
You're you're a Vietnam war enthusiast.
Like I'm a Vietnam vet who got a job at a high school as a
why are you
security
guys
guard.
smoking pot?
Damn, I did sound like kind of narkish.
Yeah, you did.
I'm sorry.
Anyways, man. So
but anyway, good luck, y'all. Follow the good news on Instagram.
Ding, ding, ding. That was like 3 goods in a row.
Literally. Another good. Another one.
But yeah, man, I was on Twitter this whole weekend. In case you missed it, at Pete Certified. He's at Ozo Grande.
Was it a good experience on Twitter?
But basically, I was pretty much hyping this up as one of the greatest touchdowns and tangents episodes ever of all time.
Which I don't appreciate because, I mean,
We've had a lot of great shows.
Don't do that the week of my birthday. We've had a lot of great shows. It's a really great, like, not discography, but like, it's a really great catalog.
But why, you ask?
Good catalog.
Well, because one of the stories we've basically been following since the inception of the show,
since before it
finally actually took a real factual development and was not just some speculative rumors bullshit like we've been talking about and feeding our appetite for conversation.
Don't say the F word this episode, Pete.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. But anyways.
You see what I deal with? This isn't good, man.
Anyways, point is, you know what the topic is. Everyone's been talking about it, but we have yet to talk about it. Me and Kenny haven't even talked about it officially off air. So there's going to be a lot of great stuff on Kaepernick, so stay tuned for that. But before we get to that,
set the table for it.
Before we get to that, before we get to any of that, let's just go ahead and start off by talking about your week, since it is your birthday.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And then from there, I'll talk about mine.
Okay. Man. It honestly, it's weird. This has like been the most mature birthday for me. And mostly
you say that every year.
No, like for real. Like in the years past I'd never know what to do for my birthday. My mom just makes me go out and like I get
like 2 years ago, didn't you just go to the beach and eat an edible and chill out?
Oh, that shit was the greatest. I might do that this weekend. Bruh. Woo! That was a great birthday.
And I think last year we went to the beach too. Wasn't that when we went to Joe's Crab Shack and then recorded the podcast
in the parking lot?
Yeah.
That wasn't during my birthday though.
Oh, my bad.
But that was just a dope experience. We should do that. We should go back to Joe's Crab Shack.
I'm cool.
Oh wow. Coach,
I'm not gonna slander a potential sponsor.
Manhattan Beach Creamery.
Yeah, sure. But go ahead, talk about your week, your birthday.
Shout out to Supreme because that's where I got the burrito and the fries from. Shout out to everyone on courtside who felt like they needed to roast me on the air for 20 minutes and then go back to talking basketball.
Wait, now I gotta go listen to this.
Shit.
Now I gotta go listen to this.
But nah, it's been a great week, man. It's weird. The closer and closer it got, I just started getting more and more excited. Like, but not just because like, oh, this year my birthday, but like I really started thinking about the totality of everything I've been through.
I'm thinking about the totality of what that hoodie's gonna go through since it's so damn small.
This is why I don't open up to my friends.
All right. I'm gonna shut up and let you talk. Go ahead.
I'm gonna meet your ass. Stop talking. But yeah, in all seriousness, a homie of mine played football with in high school. Pulled up to the Kettle. Shout out to the Kettle. I'm just going to say they sponsored this podcast because they have the greatest blueberry muffins I've ever eaten in my life. I'm not even bullshitting.
I still haven't even been there.
Well, then we're going this weekend.
Or the Pan.
We're going there, too. I got to talk about this.
We're just going to have 2 big-ass breakfasts back to back to compare?
Different days.
To compare?
Yeah, we'll get an edible and we'll just do it.
We're going to start Twitter beef between the Pan and the Kettle?
Yeah. Is that the title of this episode? It's like calling the Pan the Kettle. I don't know.
All right, your week.
Anyway,
shout out to the Kettle. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, went out to eat and then was like an hour and 40 minutes late to class. But I was really dressed up, so it didn't really matter. It's weird. I had a dream that I was going to wear this very leather jacket, some basketball shorts, my Spider-Man super rare and expensive ass vintage socks, and some white foam posits. And like the next day, I wore them. It was weird. I get to class. Shut up.
How is that weird? You decide what you wear.
No, like I literally, it was like,
how is that weird?
I was like, I woke up and I was like, I literally was like,
sorry.
yo, did I just dream that shit?
Like if
Like I really woke up. I was like, wait, did I just dream?
Are you kidding me?
Did that shit really just happened? And then I just casually picked the same outfit.
Yeah, of course.
Like, I don't know, but like
that's not a coincidence.
Never happened to me. That's never happened to me before.
And also,
So
can you move your mic up a little bit and speak more into it? Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's never happened to me before. I
there
was like,
you go.
wait, this is some weird shit. But anyway, so my mom, everybody called me. My grandma calls me, sings happy birthday to me. She's like, so how old are you again? I was like 27. She's like 47? I was like 27. She's like 47? I was like, Grandma, I let you, don't play with me. She was like, it's okay, old man. And then my sister, she called me old too. She's 30, by the way, but she called me old. And I actually, before I got my hair cut, I found 5 gray hairs in my head and like 2 in my beard. And if I actually grow my beard all the way out, you'll see like a gray streak and like it's brown. So I dealt with that. It was kind of depressed for 20 minutes. But yeah, went to class on Tuesday and fun story, cause fuck one of my jobs, cause I don't really care if they hear this, they're not going to. But, so I told that boss for that job that, I told him a week ago, I was like, I'm not coming in on Tuesday. I'm using my sick hours. So he hits me up on the day of my birthday saying, so why did you not come into work again? And I was just like,
wait, this is your new job?
No, this is Geronimo's. Fuck it, I said. The new jobs are actually pretty chill, but Geronimo's is like, he's so why did you come in? I'm like, well, for starters, I told you last week I wasn't coming in. 2, it's my birthday. 3, I have sick hours, and 4, I actually am going to get eye drops. That was a total lie. I wasn't going to get eye drops. And then, like, he said something back, and I was like, in my head, I'm like,
in what world does eye drops take you 4 hours to go get?
No, it's my excuse. It's like a doctor's excuse.
Are you gonna go make the eye drops?
Yeah, I'm going to the eye doctor to get some eye drops. So I'm just like, all right, I don't know why you giving me the 3rd degree about this shit, because guess what? I'm still not coming in Tuesday. So find somebody else to work. Like, and I told my coworkers that too. They all started laughing. Chef at my job, she's like, it's not how you ask for sick hours, right? I was like, I know, but A, this is my last semester here, and B,
that's how you get fired on your day off, Craig.
Fam, I can't get fired. They need me too much. I'm the only person who ever can make sushi, besides one other person. So, yeah.
I'm sorry, man. You're my friend, but I wouldn't eat any sushi you made.
First off, I have a food handler's card. I'm very
just
thorough.
like you wouldn't eat any mac and cheese I would make.
I wouldn't eat anything you eat because you can't cook. Fam, you can't cook. I actually can cook.
You never even actually have my food, though.
Fam.
Okay.
I see what your body looks like. I know you can't cook.
Oh.
I see what you kill yourself with.
Oh.
You see, I'm fat and wholesome over here. I'm in this like hoodie that feels like a thermal. I'm chilling. I'm warm as fuck. Damn, I just said the F word. Doesn't count. It's my birthday. Whatever. So
it's not even your birthday.
It's my birthday week.
You're not even a white girl.
What?
You don't get a birthday week. That's reserved for white girls.
It's my birthday and it's Black History Month. So kiss my ass. Tuesday was my birthday. Wednesday is my cousin's birthday, who I don't talk to. Fuck her. And today is my Aunt Jean's birthday. Happy birthday, Aunt Jean. Therefore,
that was the worst happy birthday I've ever heard. You would just wish someone you don't talk to happy birthday and then said fuck them.
I'm not gonna say the name. And you know what I'm talking about too.
You gonna tell them to eat soup too and die slow?
Nah, I mean it's not called liver-beaties. If you have diabetes, you're already dying slow. But anyway, I told you. Why do you think
your diabetic nerves?
First off, I don't have diabetic nerves. That's
all right,
you.
man. Can you finish your week so I can talk about mine?
I am, but everything I just said was encompassed into my week. And you could relax.
You literally giving a play-by-play. I just wanted a high-end overview.
This is a high-end overview.
You're literally like, I woke up this day. You literally went through a day-by-day of how you woke up and picked your outfit. Like anybody cares.
I was high when I did it. That was the most important part. I think that's why. I got high and I woke up and I was like, I don't remember any of this shit. How did this happen? And then I was like, oh, wait. Edible. But anyway. Yeah, I got some free. A free burger from.
I thought you were gonna say Freebase.
What is wrong with you? Freebase on my birthday. Freebase on your birthday is wild. That is some wild shit to do. But no, I got a free. I'm pretty much just going around getting free shit on my birthday. I had a free ice cream shake from Del Taco today and a free burger yesterday.
It's not even your birthday anymore, and these establishments are giving you food. Let me pull up. I won't get shit. Let's go test this. Let's go test this on my birthday. I won't get shit.
Hey, because no one likes you. No, but nah, the Del Taco one expired on the 27th.
They'll be like, no,
the one from the Habit expires on.
Bro, even when
14th.
I've signed up for like Jersey Mike's and like Chili's and like these are rewards clubs,
Hooters
like,
gives you free.
They're like,
appetizers.
no, you have to sign up before your birthday, like
Which
a month before your birthday to get the coupon.
I signed up like a day before my birthday.
Stupid.
Shout out to the girl we both worked with at the Sundial, Alyssa, wherever she is, where I find herself.
Whoa, you just have no shame today, huh?
I never had shame.
Yeah.
I'm just not thirsty like you, but I never had shame.
I'm not thirsty. I have a girl who I love. My thirst is quenched.
It's good. It's good that
my life is good.
Your life is good. Your whole life has changed.
I'm out the hoopty
right?
now.
You out the hoopty, yeah.
All right, man. So are you done? So I can talk.
Oh yeah! Shout out to.
Are you gas bagging right now? Are you doing a filibuster right now?
No, but shout out to my Uber driver whose name is Kenneth. He has the same initials as me.
Bro, now you're plugging the Uber driver?
Yeah.
All right, this is your worst segment of all time.
No, it's not.
This
it's
is
really
by far your worst segment
Bro,
ever.
His birthday is February 25th. Shout out to him. So guess what? I'm celebrating his birthday too. I'm going to get some free shit next week. Shout out to him and his kid who hopefully ends up at Lawndale High. Shout out to Lawndale High. And yeah, I think that's it.
All right, man. So for me, in my neck of the woods.
Oh yeah, I went bowling at Gable House, and it was actually really nice. It was really nice. Shout out to my homies who took me to Gable House the Sunday before my birthday. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to David and his baby mom. Y'all real ones.
Okay, are you done?
I bowled a 105.
Are you done?
Their steak nachos are fire as
Bro, you realize you have a show like every week, right?
It's not even 8.
You're talking like this is like your only 10 minutes of fame, and you need to get all your shout outs out. Like
I gotta get all my shit out because I feel like
you gonna shout out your 4th grade bus driver too.
As a matter of fact, the 40 can kiss my ass. I hated that bus.
Anyways, man, as for my week,
no one cares about your week, bro.
Yeah, really. The only thing I want to say, man, is how journalist of it would it be for me to sit here and complain of the fact that I just went to a Laker game essentially for 1 quarter, dipped out, and now I'm here at essentially my own radio show
with no gift, you bum ass.
That's some real first class world problems. So I can't really complain. I'm happy to be here.
You're not a clout chaser like some people in the media who we won't talk about, who we cannot talk about. I don't know why you still have your media tag on. That shit looks mad tacky.
Weird flex.
Weird flex, but okay.
Anyways,
like
man.
me talking into the mic with no cover. Weird flex, but okay.
All right. So outside of that, I drove up to the Bay, got off the grid for a little bit. You know, took some time to reflect on President's Day.
Shout out to not wishing me a happy birthday on my birthday. You
I knew you were going to say something
me on my
about
birthday,
that.
But didn't wish me happy birthday.
I did.
You
really
sucking son of a bitch.
I thought about it too. And then
everybody wished me a happy birthday, bro. Even people who are my enemies in high school wish me a happy birthday.
I really didn't.
Pete didn't say
shit
until the next day.
I really didn't, bro. I really didn't.
Now you know why.
And the worst part is, I didn't.
Andrew did it.
And the worst
Mancini
part is,
did it. He's in Costa Rica.
No, the worst part is, like, I didn't even wish you a happy birthday directly. I left you a comment on Instagram, like a real fake friend.
You said happy birthday,
like a
culture.
Real fake friend.
He said happy birthday, culture vulture. I was like, oh, I'm done.
Because you took a fucking wings photo. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah.
You took a wings photo.
Time out.
Listen, wait, no, hold up. Let me finish. First of all, before you go there,
is our birthday? Is our week entwined?
Fuckboy culture is still a culture, all right?
I'm not a fuckboy.
Exactly. So why are you taking fuckboy photos in front of wings?
Why do you think I gave a shout out to my homeboy David and his baby mom? We were at Triple T house.
Regardless, man, it was a fuckboy photo.
Nope.
You culture vulture.
Am I in fuckboy court? Am I in fan court or fuckboy court? Which one is it?
The
'Cause I
point
defend
is,
myself
you
to the death.
you vultured the fuckboy
I
pose.
did not vulture. First
You
off,
did.
And this fine ass girl in my photography class co-signed it. When I took the picture, she was like, "Yo, you should really actually take this picture from those angel wings." I was like, technically, if I had angel wings, they're more like the bloody stubs from the movie Dogma in like 1999 with Ben Affleck, where he gets his wing shot off. That's more
I'm
me.
really mad
Let's
I'm really mad you had this whole rationalization in your head of why this
'Cause I
photo
saw
was
it-
not a fuckboy photo, even though it
I
clearly
had a
is.
built-in rationalization,
Even
and I
though
always
it
wanted to
clearly
take the
is.
photo. A piece
You
of me always wanted
did
to take it.
exactly.
was-
So
but
just
guess
say
what?
that. Just
No.
say it. I'm turned 27. I wanted my first fuckboy photo.
I've had like
that's all you have to say.
First off, that's
all
not
you
a
have to
fuckboy
say.
photo. No.
That's all you have to
It's not a
say.
fuckboy photo when a girl took it on her phone. So therefore,
That makes it even more fuckboy.
No, it's not. She was like, "No, you should take it."
That makes it even
no,
more
it's not.
fuckboy.
She encouraged me. It's not like, you know what, I'm gonna do this. Yo, take this picture. I didn't do what some people we know do. Take fuckboy photos. I didn't do that.
I've literally done that. I've literally done that.
I only
like
took
in
the
strange places.
low key. I just want to say, like the picture, the pic in front of the angel wings and the look away to the left. I found a new pocket of confidence when I did that shit. I was like, wait a minute.
Yes, welcome to fuckboydom.
I was like, whoa. I was
Welcome
like,
to fuckboydom.
I was like, is this a new power? Like, am I the Black Panther now? Because that's what that shit felt like.
Yes.
Felt like I literally, I don't know, but that I would never.
You're the black fuckboy now.
First off, no, I can't. All my friends are, but I'm not. I'm the killmonger of fuckboys.
Yeah, you are.
So I'm really not one. But nah. Yeah, I'm never gonna kill that because that look away to the left was hard. When she told me to look away, I was like, oh shit. I found my light. Damn.
Yeah, man. Welcome to being the fuckboy.
Nope.
Dues
That's
are
you.
dues
That's
are
why.
dues
That's
are
why.
due on the 19th of the month.
Shit. I'm gonna fuck boy and not pay him.
Now you're learning.
I'm gonna Venmo it to you. I'm gonna Venmo it to you 2 days after I get paid.
All right, man. So all bullshit
Damn, were
aside,
our weeks intertwined?
all the bullshit
Picture?
aside, we had all these laughs. So we started with some love. Now we got to get to the controversial shit. So you want to set the table?
Okay, I will set the table. So when it comes to this Colin Kaepernick situation, there are rumors that he got anywhere from $60 million to $125 million after settling his collusion lawsuit against the NFL. And a lot of people feel away. Clay Travis, Jason Whitlock's coon self, and a bunch of other bum-ass people in the media decided to go out there and attack the man and be their usual coon selves. And then other people, actually, Clay Travis is white.
Before you give,
still.
can you just like give your unbiased like summary?
No,
of
I'm
it,
getting some
and then-
unbiased opinion, but I gotta get to all the shit that was around.
Yeah, but you can-
because
you-
it was nasty when it went down. You saw like a ripple effect, like a wave. Like, and I can only the only example I can use to really kind of make sense of what happened, and I think I said it in our full press coverage group chat. I was like, the only real one was Kurt Flood, a black man who played for I think it was the St. Louis Cardinals at the time, and he's the reason why there's free agency in baseball, because he died poor and broke and blackballed, because he stood against Major League Baseball for people to have the right to be free agents, and he won that case. And now everybody, like, shout out to Manny Machado getting a 10-year, $30 million deal from the Padres. Holy shit. San Diego is stupider than I thought. But anyway, I guess go Dodgers. But honestly, yeah, this isn't a baseball podcast. Shout out.
Yeah, the only
shout
thing
out
worse than your basketball takes are your baseball takes.
Actually, no, my baseball takes are fire. Ask Jordan. Shout out to Jordan. He won't publicly admit that because he just has to publicly slander me. But like privately do it. It's weird. Shout out to Jordan. But anyway, so with this Kaepernick situation, obviously, anytime you have a settlement in a lawsuit, it means that you had the other side dead to rights, and they can drag this out in court, and all their dirt will be exposed. Or you can be like, all right, you got me on this. I pay you, but you can't say anything else around anything else. There's a lot of, legally binding agreements that are going to take place, non-disclosure agreements.
All right. Let's back up. Give the actual news. So basically, Kaepernick took an undisclosed settlement.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, but you slanted it like a lot.
No, I said the reports were saying that the deal was between $60 million and $125. He'd be technically the highest paid quarterback ever. And that's a lot of money from a collusion case. And Eric Reed also settled too.
Afterwards, their representation released a statement basically saying
Mark Garagos.
Basically saying that they reached a settlement and that because a confidentiality agreement was signed, there will be no further comment on any of it.
And they also put out that two teams that, and Keith is going to love this when I say it, there are two teams that Kaepernick could play for.
The Panthers.
The Carolina Panthers. Or the New England Patriots.
Which would be some...
Which would be like
Keith.
the spook who sat by the door.
I'm a Pats fan.
Is this Tales from the Is this Tales from the Hood too?
He's a Brady fan, not a Pats.
I'm about to say you can't be a Panthers fan after what happened in that Super Bowl and John Casey shanked that kickoff when they should have won that Super Bowl. Shout out to Ricky Prohl and Steve Smith Sr. Yeah. Too bad no one remembers it.
All right, man.
Mark Fields beat cancer though.
Mark Fields did beat cancer.
Yeah, he did.
R.I.P.
Wait, he's dead? I thought he was alive still.
No, I think he's dead. Because I saw his son.
Google that shit, bro. Because if he's
his son has like R.I.P. Pops on his Twitter handle.
Damn, you follow Mark Fields' son? Does he play for Clemson?
He played for the NFLPA. Yeah, he was. He was a DB.
He plays for. Oh wait, Mark, the number 2 for Clemson.
Yeah.
That's his son.
Yeah.
Oh, he gonna make it to the NFL. He's nice. Once one of Clemson's corners went down and he played, he was actually really good. So shout out to him. But yeah.
So, do you want to give your opinion on Kaepernick, or you want me to go first?
I'm just gonna say this, and I'm gonna give you an example. Somebody's probably gonna call in later, but I remember when I was at CSUN and a bunch of students from all different races, ethnicities, formed a Students of Color Coalition, and it was Black students, Latino students, Asian students, Pacific Islanders, blah blah blah, blase blase, all different types of students. We had our individual demands for.
Keith out here smacking me up before he leaves. The hazing is real.
Smack his hairline with that widow's peak. Oh, head, shoulders, knees, and toes, headline, ass having boy. I'm talking about you. But anyway, when I think about that Students of Color Coalition, let me finish. I'm getting to it.
Yeah, bro, because you even have to step up the energy. Because I was expecting a lot more.
First off, I have a lot of energy, but like I need to explain this. I have energy in spurts, and right now is not a time to be jokative. That's not even a word, or it is now. Fuck it, I don't care. So with the Students of Color Coalition, everybody had something that they brought to the table for their group that they wanted. Deals were made, whatever. Come back to the table, negotiate. But eventually, over time, some groups couldn't get their shit together, and a lot of things dissolved. And then other groups started coming in who weren't even there to begin with, and it just became one huge clusterfuck. And all the individual agendas that came together that would have gotten done had people just stuck to what they wanted, didn't. Now, other groups are more organized than others, so when the coalition broke up, some people went back to what they were doing, whatever. Now, how does that compare to Kaepernick?
For real.
You look at the coalition, the different coalition of people, different ideologies, the players who are stone cold with Kaepernick, and then people like, Malcolm Jenkins. And what he did.
All right, bro. Just hurry up.
Shut up. So, everybody, like certain people stuck with Kaepernick to the very end, right? Now, other people went off and just broke off and got their own stuff done and said, this is how we're going to do it, which is what the likes of Malcolm Jenkins kind of did. Eric Reed says he's sold out, to each his own. Eric Reed gets his deal, signs with the Panthers, re-ups with the Panthers for a 3-year deal, and also helps settle his lawsuit against the NFL with Kaepernick. Now, I hearken what Kaepernick did with the Nike deal and by the way, his Nike jersey just sold out. Like the Nike store, on the Twitter account, they literally said that they sold out of his jersey completely. So they're trying to get more. I look at that situation, and I look at the fact that he actually had enough juice to beat the NFL behind the scenes. They didn't even get to the discovery phase of the case. I gotta sit up here and say, I've seen both sides of it. I've been on both sides in terms of I've been the one who's been blackballed and isolated from things. And I've also seen people do a bunch of politics together, and then they eventually come to some type of agreement. Now, how I personally feel about it is Kaepernick probably knew that this would never make it to court. And his best bet was to use all the ammo he had to really hammer down on these owners. And the NFL was never going to let all their dirty laundry be aired, which personally, for me, I would have taken this to the bitter, bloody end because I don't think Kaepernick is ever going to play again, and I don't think he should ever play again. It kind of defeats the purpose of...
You're contradicting yourself.
No, just saying.
I see what you're saying because you are saying you get both sides. You are getting both sides, but like
I said, that's why I said
you're saying personally you would have done it, but you understand why he didn't. I get it.
Yeah, because I've literally the people I were going to sue. I went to a bunch of different attorneys and they were like, "Yeah, you can actually argue your own case, and you'd be right, but it's not a big money case." So I can either keep doing that and chase this shit to the bitter end, or I can just move on with my life. And guess what I did? I moved on with my life. So when it comes to the Kaepernick situation, I get that he's trying to strike the NFL where it hurts the most, and he got them in their money. But I think there's going to be some negative ramifications from what he did.
All right. Are you done now? Can you let me go off?
But the negative ramifications for what he did, I think it's just going to be a bunch of players are going to be like, so what are we still kneeling for? Like, why are we still backing you? Because if you got this money and you can't even say certain things and you're leaving us in the dark, then you kind of just went on the take. And unless you're going to use your money and reinforce it into helping all of us who helped you, like pretty much I need to see more. I need to see what Kaepernick's next move is before I can sit up here and say, you know what, him settling was wrong. That's just me.
All right.
I understand.
All right. So you touched on a lot of things that have been said in the mainstream media, and a lot of things that have really kind of grinded my gears. So first of all,
using that phrase.
So first of all, my first issue was something you brought up, Malcolm Jenkins. Right? We had this whole Twitter fingers turn into trigger fingers.
And he kind of did actually sell out though. Like multiple players have said it. Between Eric Reed and Malcolm Jenkins, and we've had this whole thing about Malcolm Jenkins is a sellout because he took $100 million to fund various different charities that the players have supported. Which, by the way, apparently none of the money has actually been doled out yet because they don't know who's actually going to arbitrate it and handle it on a case-by-case basis. So it's pretty much like, you can get a cheeseburger today, or I can give you 1 million cheeseburgers in 3 weeks.
No, that's unfair. I mean, that's kind of like a grant or a hedge fund where these monies are allotted. It's just kind of.
But there's no guarantee they're going to get that money.
It hasn't even been a year yet since
it hasn't even been allocated out.
Yeah, because it's a fund. So,
but I'm saying
it hasn't even been a year yet.
Like, I think it's what I touched
Okay,
on.
let me finish saying what I let you talk. Let me finish saying what I was saying.
Something to help your point just now.
But yeah. Let me finish what I'm saying, and then you can jump in. And
I was going to help your point, but all right.
Anyways, regardless of whether the money gets spent, how it goes, wherever, whatever, the fact is there's a disconnect between what Malcolm Jenkins settled for and what the rest of the people who rode with Kaepernick to the end wanted. But then you go and take your own bag.
But then,
which is weak to me. That's mad weak. It's mad corny. You're gonna get on somebody else's head for taking a settlement.
But they didn't. Malcolm Jenkins didn't sue the NFL for collusion. Kaepernick.
Okay, again, let me finish. I'm not done yet.
Got to be specific though.
Anyways, my next issue with this whole thing is Malcolm Jenkins can talk about what he's going to do with his part of the $100 million or whatever. Colin Kaepernick can't. And for all those people out there preaching capitalism and about how the only way to take down the NFL is by their pocketbooks, and he hit them where it hurts in their pocketbooks. What the fuck is $60 million to the NFL? What the fuck is $100 million to the NFL? Nothing. That's Colin Kaepernick's contract. That's all he got. He got the money he would have got if he would have kept playing at an all-pro level and never took a knee. That's all he got. Period. He didn't hurt nobody. And guess what? He's going away quietly. That's what the NFL wants. The NFL won. I don't care that Colin Kaepernick raised all this awareness. And yeah, he made a lot of us have a lot of difficult conversations and aired out a lot of racists across the world in our job place and stuff like that. Props to him for all that. But realistically, man, like realistically, and you'll probably agree, but also disagree in the fact that, you know, one person can only do so much. But really, what did this Colin Kaepernick shit do for you? Someone who's had a gun pulled on you by police multiple times. What has it done for someone like me who's had a gun pulled on it? What about my boys? What about all these people I know who are really dealing with this shit every single fucking day? You know, it's cute to sit on a fucking knee during the national anthem and talk about equality and talk about equal rights for black people and stuff like that, especially when you're sitting in the upper class as a football player and you can afford to make that sacrifice. But how about the rest of us that don't have hope, that don't have things changing? Like, what about the rest of us? We're not going to see 60 to 100 million. In fact, we're not even going to know if Kaepernick puts that towards a good cause. We hope he will. We assume he will. But we don't know that for a fact. And further, the last thing that really pisses me off about this whole thing has been the media's reaction to it. Because a lot of the media has been like, oh, well, this was Colin Kaepernick's protest was never about the anthem. This whole thing was always about the bag. And my issue with this is, if you grew up in a gated community, you have no room to talk about police brutality or black people getting essentially assassinated in their own fucking communities. Like, period. I don't want to hear it. Like, you don't know. You don't know what it's like to stare at the barrel of a gun from someone you're supposed to respect and who's supposed to protect you. So, yeah, it's cute to have all these hot takes about Kaepernick. Kaepernick won. Kaepernick lost. Regardless, the cause lost. And sadly, the cause keeps losing. And that's why we're still having these same debates and fights we've been having for 60 fucking years. And really even beyond that. Hundreds of years. And everyone wants to talk about Colin Kaepernick like he's a reincarnation of Muhammad Ali. Do not ever disrespect Muhammad Ali like that again. Because Ali never shut up until he literally could not talk anymore. He never took a bag from the U.S. government. He never got that money back that he lost from the prime of his career. You know how many great fights we missed from Muhammad Ali? Because he stood up for what he believed in. He wasn't just doing it for clout and social media. And the last part is, and this is really what's kind of grinding my gears, and you can go listen to when this whole thing started. You can listen to everything I said as it developed.
Everything we've said and how we've covered this has been archived for a while now.
But the point is, and my issue with this whole Colin Kaepernick thing is, we've heard from him maybe 3 times, 4 times. Like, specifically straight from his mouth, we've heard from him like 4 times. We got like 2 workout videos.
And a couple of times when he was at his Know Your Rights camp.
So everything else is kind of speculation, and rumors, thoughts, hearsay, some players who are his allies and stuff like that. So in order for me to really even kind of put this in the neutral category in terms of a win or a loss, I need to hear from Kaepernick. I need to hear what his thinking is. I need to know what his bigger vision of taking this settlement is. Because to me, all I see was he got the contract that he should have got in the first place and went away quietly, and now we're not going to talk about it anymore. And I've really been burning on that for a solid fucking week. So honestly, Kenny, that's why when you're giving your take and telling me how you can see both sides of it and you understand personally what you would have done versus what he should do and all that shit, like, I honestly don't care, bro, because I've been seriously waiting to hear from you on this issue as someone who literally faces this fucking topic every day. Someone who's literally been fucking crucified and will probably never get to the standard that you should be at because of things that you've stood for.
I agree with everything you've said. Everything you just said. And I'm back at CSUN this semester and graduating. And certain people still can't look me in the face after what they did to me the first time around. So I have a perspective on this that you have righteous indignation in your face. Like I can feel it, I can sense it, because I have it too. And for about 2.5 years, I felt the exact same way you felt. And the difference between me and Kaepernick's situation is
obviously the scale.
The scale.
Obviously, he's light-skinned and middle class.
He's light-skinned and adopted by white parents. Because it would be different if he had black parents.
Yeah,
the media narrative would have been totally different, and we both know that. But again, I don't want to distract from the point, because that's a sidecar issue that helps the point. But
it is a sidecar issue, but you talk about colorism on this show a lot.
Yeah. But
so
the main track,
it's relevant to me.
No, I'm not saying it's not relevant. I'm saying it's relevant, but that's the dining car, and we're in the main car right now. I'm gonna tie what you just said back into it, but here's my deep dive. So when you have a situation like that, and I'll open up and discuss some more about what I was talking. I almost was ready to sue. I'm not gonna say exactly who, but I was almost ready to sue for collusion and something like that in my situation. But we ended up having mediation, which is probably what Kaepernick did. And I'm just walking through, like, if you've ever known someone who's had a work dispute issue, anything like that, they talk about going through mediation. Mediation is, look, I was wronged. This is what happened. Discovery would be when shit starts coming public. And that's what we didn't get to. And that's more valuable than any amount of money that Kaepernick could have got. That's why I say I would have took it to the bitter end. Because I understand I've already lost it all. You're never going to, like, what I wanted generally in my heart, what I deserve to get based off merit, I'm not going to get it. You don't get what you want and deserve in this life. You get what you negotiate for and what you sacrifice for. That's what you get. And if you're lucky, you have it for enough of amount of time to where it means something to you, and that's it. And some people I know who've worked their whole goddamn lives, family members of mine, worked their whole lives to get to where they deserve to be, and people took that from them. And they got shit. And they lean and depend on me and look at me. And they know what I've gone through. They know the sacrifices I've made and what I've stood for. Kaepernick had a moment. I compare it to like that shit when T'Challa and Black Panther was in the spirit world talking to his father. He had a moment, whatever it was, internally and spiritually, to really think about what he wanted and what he was going to do. Now, do I wish Kaepernick would be more boisterous? Yes. Do I wish he would speak up more about things and say more? I think he owes it to the people who have stood with him. He owes it to say something. I don't want to hear from Nessa. I want to hear from Cap. Because Nessa works at Hot 97. She's a media person. She's been out there. She's been on Girl Code, MTV, all this other shit. She's doing her thing. She's in her bag. She ain't being blackballed. Like, she's doing her thing. Cap is the one who wanted a money and salary that would be fair enough to compensate him for the money and salary that was robbed of him for the years he was not allowed from the NFL. My issue is, like I said, and I agree with you, he should never be compared to Muhammad Ali. Because Muhammad Ali, all these fake-ass people in the media who like to put up Dr. King quotes and Malcolm X quotes and all these other quotes, guess what? They hated him and they called him a nigga and they tried to firebomb him. They tried to do shit to his children, all this other stuff. Like, that's why when I hear from white people in the media and they talk about race, it incenses me because I'm like, oh, what's your privileged ass got to say? Because I know you ain't never had a gun pulled in your face by a cop because you were black, because you fit the description. Yeah, I've heard that a lot. I've heard that my whole life. even as like a 12-year-old kid. I can still remember a cop who actually I think still works at the Hawthorne PD told me at 12 when I was an honor roll student at HMS, oh, make sure, you stay on the right track, you do the right things, because you might end up running into somebody like me one day. And then fast forward to when I'm 16, waiting around the corner from my house for a friend to pick me up to take me to a weightlifting event. And this same cop pulls a gun on me, puts me in cuffs in front of a bunch of other people. Luckily, they were black and they were at the light, and they didn't leave. Because if they drove off, it would have just been us there at 7 in the morning on a Saturday. And I might not even be here to even tell you this. So I understand, but I will say this on his behalf. Whether I disagree with some of the things he's done, a lot of it, he sued the NFL for collusion, and they settled. That was his lawsuit. The problem, and this goes, and I speak to more activism and people who want to be lifetime activists.
The problem is he never asked for this cause, right? Is that what you're getting to? And we kind of gave it to him.
Other people's agendas are in this mix.
Yeah,
the same thing with that Jesse Smollett shit. Like, that wasn't Jesse Smollett's brainchild of an idea. He's fucking stupid. Like, there's bigger issues at play in that Jesse Smollett situation. By the way, the meme where the black delegation releases him is hilarious. But yeah, in that situation, when it comes to this, he took a knee, and there's a chance he probably never thought it would get this big.
I'm sure he
But
didn't.
when you took the Nike bag, I knew, okay.
That's when I
knew.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
He took the Nike bag.
That's my biggest issue.
You don't take the Nike bag and flip it. But the way the whole thing was done, they made it some multicultural bullshit.
Exactly.
Instead of, black people being gunned down. American black people being gunned down. Not black people from other countries who come here and shit on American black people. Like, not other athletes from who or whatever disability they have, who can still be racist. Shout out to Oscar Pistorius. Not women, because y'all don't treat black women good either. Like, I could go all day about that. Shout out to Nevada Extra and Ladies Night. But when there's the issue, and it's disheartening, is that I always knew Kaepernick was going to take the money.
I think we both knew.
We
both knew.
Was hoping we would.
We both knew
he would kick something down to the people who
from
actually
the beginning, because
gave a fuck about him. And
because when we first talked about it, we were like,
"Oh, collusion? Yeah, he has."
No. Before all that, when he first took a knee, we were like, "Okay." All of a sudden, like, wasn't this the guy who was holding out for $50 million and like making rap album? Now you're all of a sudden consciously
made a rap album.
No, I don't know. I'm just talking shit.
What the fuck? No.
But yeah,
that's misinformation.
No, but yeah, the point is, we were just kind of like, why now? Like, all of a sudden, like, why now? And so we were kind of skeptical from the beginning of like, why now? And as you alluded to, I mean, I think that's the rub here, right? Because yeah, he did sue for collusion. Obviously, he was able to prove something because the NFL settled. They didn't settle for no reason. So, in that terms,
that's a victory.
It's a victory. But the thing is, this went on for 3 years and was made into all these other different issues and agendas, and like the cause of inequality and like police brutality and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so, for all of that progress, it's an L because it's a dead end.
And
it's literally
you have
a
to
dead
sign
end.
A non-disclosure agreement, you signed away what you really needed, what you really should have.
Which is the truth.
Yeah, you signed away. You signed away anything with a non-disclosure.
You signed away the truth.
You signed away the truth with a non-disclosure.
Which is literally the definition of a sellout to me, because you literally.
Because Steve Harvey is a sellout. I'm not going to say Kaepernick and him are a sellout.
But again, here's the thing. Look, man, I'm never going to hate on a man for getting his bag and stuff like that. So I realized his Nike bag wasn't going to be able to feel all his legal fees forever.
Nike was just
forever.
Smart business.
Forever. No, let me finish. Let me finish.
All right.
So I understand, like, he needed to take the lawsuit. Cool, fine. My issue with it is when you flip it into a brand and make it about equality and all these other things and make you into a martyr and a symbol about all these things, when really you just kind of reverted back to the football player who wants to play football, even though you've never really even come out and said, I want to play football. He said it like maybe once, and it was really just a practice video. So it's like, that to me doesn't add up. You had a chance to really take the... Bro, we were talking about essentially a fallout of the league. We were talking about the CBA being broken up. We're talking about all these alternative football leagues coming up. Kaepernick had the power and the strength to do that.
But his attorney...
And he took the out.
But can we be honest? Some of those same attorneys have probably defended the NFL. Like,
oh, yeah. No, 100%.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the take is the take. And it's almost like, damn, either this never gets to court and it's tied up in litigation forever, or I get a bag out of it now. Do you risk getting sued by the NFL by just saying releasing all the information that you have? Do you really go and do that? Do you have the balls to do that? I don't think he does.
Things were going to come up. Things were going to come out. One, because as you said, the discovery phase was going to happen. Things were going to progress. It's just a matter of holding out the filibuster. Can you manage? Can you hang on? All that stuff. But again, man, my biggest issue is just I can't even look at the word equality now because of the Nike campaign.
Yeah,
like I don't even want to see.
Dirty word.
I don't even want to see an equality shirt. Like I don't even want to think about Kaepernick. Like it really just upsets me because it's like he really built a brand off of a cause that he's probably not even attached to. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he has dealt with police brutality and stuff like that.
Well,
I can't say that.
He's dealt with racism.
I can't say that. But what I can say is, I don't know for sure or not because he's never talked about it. So maybe if he came out and talked about, why he adopted this cause in the first place, that would help. That would be great. But ultimately,
you want some.
There's too many loose ends that Kaepernick didn't tie up, and now he's just leaving us all at a dead stop. And like, well, thanks for riding with me. Like, fuck you. Like honestly,
I understand
there's so many other people whose lives are still going to be fighting for this cause. Is Kaepernick's? I don't know because he can't talk about it.
I can see that. And I understand that. And again, but my thing is, Dr. John Henry Clark once said this, African scholar, teacher, master teacher. Look him up. Black history tip. You should really, if you're black, you should know who that is. You good?
Talking to the mic.
Okay. I thought my mic was off. I was going to say, I checked the.
Look at you're barely getting up there.
Okay. Well,
you're barely getting 1 dot. I'm getting 4.
It's weird. Yeah. But there you go. Yeah, Dr. John Henry Clark, he said, in so many words, don't put your faith in rich black people, athletes, people who are affluent and never really use their money for causes regarding the black community anyway.
Thank you for that because
I'm horribly misquoting it, but pretty much it's like a fool and his money were never meant to be together to begin with. So time will tell.
So this past weekend, I was at an NABJ meeting, and
I think somebody called, but I don't know why the sound is.
They were
Spreaker.
They were talking about basically the intersection of politics and pop culture, and kind of how entertainment is in politics now, and how politics is entertainment, and entertainment is becoming political now as well.
Entertainment's always been political,
and so they were just discussing this, and at the end, the elder black lady next to me, she raises her hand and she's like, I appreciate this discussion. She kind of goes on this like tirade and like low key hijacks the panel. And so I'm kind of like, whatever, tuning her out.
Black people, I really wish we would stop doing that shit.
You do that shit.
Yeah, but I'm entertaining and intellectual.
Shut up.
There's a difference.
I'm sure she thought
I get to the point and I make everybody laugh.
When she did get to the
non-threatening way,
when she did get to the point, she had a great point, and that's why I'm sharing it.
Okay.
Because she was pretty much talking about how she recently went to a sorority event for her black sorority, and about how they were all wearing their colors. They're all happy. They're all doing these panel discussions. They're doing networking. They're doing all these great things, like building, all these great things. And she shows up late, and while she's walking in, she sees a homeless black man surrounded by 8 policemen, essentially telling him has a restraining order banning him from all county libraries. He doesn't really understand what's going on, so he's kind of resisting. And as you know, as we all know, what happens to a black man when he's resisting?
Or just when he's breathing oxygen near the police.
He's dead. He's killed.
Or hemmed up. Or in the system.
Whatever. The point is, it's a situation, it's a problem, and being an unarmed black man surrounded by 8 policemen, of course we don't know why he has a restraining order, but that's not the point.
Well,
the point
homeless
is,
people getting treated like shit is a whole nother issue.
But the point is, and the point that she was making
mm-hmm.
was, here we have this celebration of, essentially black excellence, but yet still outside, still in the same proximity, we have the people who aren't celebrities, the people who aren't popular, still living and dealing with the same issues. And the two classes of celebrity and popular versus non-popular aren't communicating and aren't talking. And, she kind of talked about how she grew up in Detroit and essentially grew up on the street of the Underground Railroad, and how she would go to these tunnels and like talk to these different people and really feel about how black people were connected during that time and were able to get through that migration challenge. And she was just saying that she feels like now the classes aren't talking to each other. They're not connected. They're not communicating, and have adopted a lot of the same class structures as the white people without even essentially knowing it.
You're talking about like Greek classes or just black?
Just overall classism. Overall classism.
Well, I mean, yeah, because it's a couple different things. There's
the haves and the have-nots.
No, it's like there's the boule, and you can look up the history of the boule, which essentially is like the birth of black Greeks, and how the boule started is a bunch of black people who couldn't pass.
It's not about black Greeks.
Saying,
it's just
no,
about.
But I'm saying like there's different.
It's about different communities not communicating.
But I'm explaining it. Yeah. Like I'm not just shitting on black Greeks, but I'm saying there's like 3 different parts of it, like castes. There's rich black people who just wanted to be white, rich black people who just wanted to be left alone, and then black people who came up through the boule, Jack and Jill, black Greeks. They came up the talented 10th, so to speak. They talk about the Divine Nine, but then they talk about the talented 10th, which is literally just a bunch of black people who were rich at the boule and couldn't pass the paper bag test around white people. There's like multiple books. You can look this up, and I'm not just saying it to be saying it, but like it's a real thing. And, they didn't feel welcome amongst black society, or they didn't want to be associated with black people, everyday black people. So you have the Steve Harveys, who is a part of the boule. And also, after all that disrespectful, disgraceful shit he said to Monique, is a coward. And also, he's one of those rich-ass black people who stays away from other black people. Yeah, he has all these camps that he does, but...
Okay, so get to your point.
There's...
what
I'm saying is like, for every cat like that, a rich black person who is that way, there's a duality to it, and there's a reason why. And some of that comes from the same place, like what you're talking about, the haves and the have-nots. Yeah, I could be a have-not, and I could also hate other people who are have-nots who look like me. Or I can be a have and love people who look like me. You see what I mean? Like, there's nuance to it. And another aspect of this that we don't look at, and by the way, Kaepernick is actually a Kappa, so there's that. And you look at the activism side of it that comes into play. And what I've noticed with a lot of people who call themselves to be activists is they push the same messages into a situation to try to get, visibility, and they want to latch themselves on, because really what a lot of these causes are, they just latch themselves to a really well-known person, and then it blows up. That's what happens with a lot of people. Like, if Floyd Mayweather wasn't such a dumbass and a jackass, and he catered his brand to, I don't know, a bunch of black designers like Virgil or whoever else, and said, make my money team stuff, his brand will be bigger. But you look at a Kaepernick who had the Know Your Rights camp and really does stuff for the kids, but you don't really know where his connections are. As far as like, okay, yeah, you're in touch with these activists, but these same activists don't necessarily have the same motivations as you. And if you're not speaking out against people, and he did a couple times, and you're not speaking for who's with you and who's really a snake in the grass amongst you, then how do we keep this honest? And that's where you see the divide in a lot. That's why you see people just trying to get a check off through activism and some things. And it happens a lot, and it's really gross.
And that's my biggest issue overall with this whole Colin Kaepernick thing. And I think it really is kind of a class
By the way,
issue.
the number to call in, if you want to call in, is 323-900-0478.
Because, I mean, obviously, when you talk about race, you have to talk about class, you have to talk about gender, you have to talk about all these other different things as well. But for me, I think this issue is really classist just by how everyone's kind of reacted to it. It's like you have the people in the media who are like, yeah, well, what'd you expect Kaepernick to do?
A lot of white supremacists, by the way. A
like,
lot of people with racially biased ass views.
But even
outside of Kaepernick,
but
who have the audacity to speak on
even
this.
besides that, I mean, there were plenty of people.
Oh yeah, there were, and fuck them.
But that's what I'm saying is it's kind of like even people who were
now
on
you keep your
Kaepernick's
head out
side,
of the ground and say some shit.
even people who were on Kaepernick's side and people who were against him, basically applauding it, but. Just that frame of thinking, like, of course, what would you expect Kaepernick to do? Or, yeah, we got to hit him in his pocketbooks. Like, either way, to me, that's communicating the same thing, even though it's a little bit different, coming from a different place, because it's telling me that they're thinking within the system.
That's what I'm saying.
They're the haves. So to them, that makes sense because they think in terms of capitalism. They think in terms of money. They think in terms of being a piece in the overall
cog in the wheel.
Institution,
I
corporation.
I don't believe you can change.
But let me finish.
Go for it.
But what we didn't hear from were the people who actually deal with this shit every single day.
Grassroots,
and what we did get,
people.
the only way we did get is social media, which now at this point we kind of just write off as, well, that's just social media reaction.
It's one big ass chat board.
But yeah, the point is, the have-nots, the people who live outside that institution because they're always constantly battling things and always trying to fight for change, their first reaction wasn't like, oh, great, Kaepernick got $100 million. I know that.
It was like, oh, he's settled.
Exactly.
What now?
Exactly.
And
do we keep this pushing or what?
Yeah.
But because he can't say anything, it's literally a dead end. It's literally a no through street. It's literally a no outlet.
It's like when black people being murdered by the police come out and say we forgive. Well, then how the fuck can I get justice and vengeance and righteous indignation on your behalf when you telling me you forgive the person who just murdered you? You didn't just give that person who you co-signed and said I forgive them. You gave everybody else after them the green light to murder more black people, more black kids, more black women, more whoever.
I mean, I can't speak on that because
I can't.
I don't really get what you're saying. But
okay, if you say you forgive a police union and cops for murdering someone in your family, that means it's justified in their eyes. So the next time that same situation pops up, they kill another person, what excuse you think they're going to use?
I guess.
The same one
but what I don't
you co-signed
understand
by saying, oh, I forgive it,
I
it's
guess,
okay.
But what I don't understand is why someone else's attitude towards that other person would impact how you feel about justice and ramifications.
Put yourselves in the shoes
like
of a black
Rodney
person.
King saying everyone should just move on. Like,
okay,
that doesn't make...
Because black people were out there rioting
that,
on his behalf and doing shit on his behalf and getting justice and fighting back against these racist-ass police
so then
officers.
people just stopped after?
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. They didn't. So that's what I'm saying.
Hold on
They
one
didn't.
second. Hello, caller. I think we missed a caller before, but sorry about that. Hello, caller. What is your name and where you're calling from?
It's your boy, Bob.
Oh, God. What's up, Bob?
Oh, boy.
What's good? I just want to go on the Kaepernick part.
Go ahead.
Like, everyone's acting like he sold out. He sold out during the commercial. Everyone's acting like Nike did that behind the NFL's back. Exactly. There's no way.
Hey, turn your life down in the background a little bit, just we can hear the play.
Yeah. So yeah.
So you're saying he did sell out or he didn't?
You said he sold out with the Nike commercial.
Out,
oh yeah.
But everyone's trying to act like the commercial he shot was like you really think the Nike went behind the NFL back? Like, no way. Yeah, that was all part of it, you know? And then he signed this agreement, and it was basically the NFL saying, like, we'll just pay him, but we'll shut him up. And then they even gave Nike permission to do that commercial, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, so it's like, are your so-called
think about it. Who
role
benefited
models
from that?
Yeah.
It was just the Nike athletes, not the black community. It was just the athletes, and those are the people that are saying, "Oh, what a beautiful commercial." Well, yeah, because they're getting paid from that company.
Yeah, everybody gets a cut from that. That's free promo. That's some kumbaya,
including you, Bob.
This Laker game is fire.
All right, man. Thanks for calling.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess Bob's our diehard listener now, so shout out to him.
I just want to know who was 818-399-4575 now.
That's Bob.
Oh, that was Bob?
Yeah.
Fam, that's like two different numbers. Is a burner phone?
He probably does.
That's genius, though. But no, man. See, here's the thing. That's why when I talk.
All right, let's wrap this up though. So you get your last point in.
Yeah, and if anybody else wants to call in, I suggest you do it ASAP. But when I talk about the Kaepernick situation, in my situation, I couldn't sell out. I had to stand on my principles, and you know what I'm talking about. I don't have to go into detail, but you know what I had to stand on what I believed in because I knew A, I was legally right, and B, morally right. So I'm not backing off that because then I have to accept something that isn't me and isn't my character. In this case, with Kaepernick, some people see it as, oh, he's already done enough going against the NFL. The fact that he got the lawsuit, this, that, and the third, and everything after that is a bonus. The money, the commercial. But, like I said, a lot of people really just want to be activists for the cause, to just get money to fund their nonprofits. And I said that in the group chat.
Yeah.
In so many words. It's like, everybody wants to fund their nonprofits, when, let's be honest, a lot of these nonprofits are kind of a scam. You just don't want to actually run a real business. So you do something in the guise of a nonprofit, and that's how you get your money. But, like, if I can buy you as an activist, are you really an activist?
Exactly.
That's what I take away from it. Like, you couldn't buy me for what I was going against. It was like, yo, this is wrong, and here's why it's wrong, and I'm suing you. And I didn't even ask for money in my case. Because money wasn't an issue. It was literally like, yo, rules were broken, blah, blah, blah. Hello, caller. What is your name, where you're calling from? I really hope you're not Bob again, because that would be hilarious.
No, this is not Bob. Unless Bob had a sex change and has another burner phone. But I don't think it's
then they would be a they.
This is right.
No, that might not be the pronoun. That might not be the
pronoun. Whatever.
Might be them.
This is Ryan, way up in the snowy mountains. We had a snow day actually today, so I've been chilling. But,
stun on us, why don't you?
Yeah, I mean, just a little bit, get paid to sit at home. That's cool. But anywho, point being, so a few things came up while you guys were talking earlier, and I thought about what you said about Rodney King, and basically if he were to say, forgiveness, and, a lot of the families, like after the aftermath, they say, to forgive these people. But you have to remember, forgiveness is for yourself. And I feel like that kind of leads into my second point as well, because if you're forgiving so that you think that it's going to lead to some like a big, kumbaya thing, obviously that's never going to happen. There's systematic oppressions that happen that are well beyond just, one killing, obviously. And same thing goes for, even supporting Kaepernick in the beginning, because if now you're looking at it as, well, what now? And this is, moot and this is dead end. Were you ever really supporting him in the beginning? Because we really don't know his motivations for taking a knee, besides him saying he wanted to bring light to the fact that Black people were being gunned down and still are every single day. And for that reason, he was basically blackballed, right? And so we don't know if his motivations in the beginning were to set out to change every single thing in the world. He wanted to bring light to things, and he did. And so who could say that his vision wasn't played out way more and in a grander scale than he could have ever imagined. So I think it's kind of it's almost back to that point of like, don't look for reciprocity in these instances, because in reality, one football player was not going to be the change that we needed to see in the government. We have new people coming into office that are from minority groups that are making the changes. We've got other people starting grassroots organizations from that. And so it's almost like it's not necessarily just a drop in the bucket, but it does have, it's almost like that butterfly effect. Like many things can come from this, and many things have come from this. So I think it's a little bit unfair to say, well, what now? Well, it's like, well, what now is up to you. I mean, just like he probably thought, what now, from the last thing he had saw, the last activism, wherever he got his motivation to take that knee, he probably thought, what now too? And so he took that knee, and that was his what now. And so I feel like instead of looking at it as a dead end and these are things that we, should have been fixed and he's given up and he took the bank, he took the bag. First of all, he was an NFL player. He was always going to take that bag. So the fact that, yes, he did make a lawsuit is a huge deal. And yeah, so the what now should really be continuing that conversation. So what now can we do to further that vision, whether or not that was his vision to begin with?
That's a good point. That's a fair point. I agree with that.
And I got a statement on what you said about forgiveness and then a question. They say forgiveness is for you. I just want to point out the Jewish community has never forgiven German people and everybody who took part in the Holocaust. And they have propaganda and everything I can pick a different group if that makes you more comfortable. Like they're Native Americans.
I'm waiting to see where your point is.
Like Native Americans, like there are people who've been done a huge disservice that have never forgiven that. And they keep putting out propaganda and things against that and saying against it. Obviously, this is on a much smaller scale, but you understand what I'm saying when it comes to forgiveness. Now, forgiving, an entire genocide is not necessarily what I'm saying. And I'm not saying to forgive your, killers and all that stuff. I'm not saying that. However, when people preach that after something crazy happens, like their son or daughter is killed or whatever the case may be, they're not really saying it to say, forgive the person that did it. They're just saying, let it be known that we're not going to carry this on us. Like, it's all that, defines us as people. And so I think it kind of, like, I get what you're saying. No, like, definitely forgiveness is not necessarily, a cure-all. However, it's like we need to move on from this. So you need to forgive the fact that it happened and whatever else you need to do to basically get past it so that we can move forward to make sure that it doesn't happen again. But I get what you're saying. Like, obviously. Because if I had a child, I can't ever forgive you killing my child.
Right.
There's righteous indignation there forever. Like, that's a blood debt that you owe me. So I'm saying, like,
true.
Trayvon, I could name off the list of names of people who've been killed across this country.
Right.
A bunch of people keep saying we forgive. When do you stop saying you forgive people who are oppressing you and start fighting back? And that kind of goes into the coalition question. When I think about different groups of people having leverage on someone and then quote unquote selling out, like, where do you stand on that? Because you were kind of there during the coalition, but you weren't really there. But you saw things.
Yeah, I was on my way out.
So I'm just asking, like, how do you feel about that? From an activism side or whatever?
Well, it would depend. It honestly depends on your definition of selling out, because I feel like a lot of people are going to, I feel like in so many words, you're kind of saying that, Kaepernick literally sold out, right? He took that money and now he can't talk about it. But I just don't know. It's just hard to say, because knowing people's intentions really dictates whether you sold out or not, because I don't necessarily feel that he sold out, because he was always in pursuit of him getting his career back. And so just like he said earlier, like, that's the money that he was basically owed if they would have never blackballed him into the situation. So I don't know if that's necessarily selling out, because he was always a football player first. And then he said, I'm going to do this to bring light to this issue on a national level. But I don't know that that's really selling out, because he did what he stood for. And he said, no, I'm not going to apologize for it. I did that. And this is what's happening after. And if grassroots organizations are started off of this, and your rights camp and all those things still have merit and still will for many years to come, because they still serve a purpose just like him taking a knee still stood a purpose, just like the many athletes that have done it after, not even just at the NFL level, but at all levels, still serve a purpose. And so I don't know if it's necessarily selling out, because his intention was met. People had to recognize the fact that this, very well-paid player is taking a knee in spite of the fact that he's being paid by the very people that keep the system going. So I don't know if that's necessarily selling out. I think if we're talking about just in general, well, yeah, don't fucking just sell out just because you think it's going to get you somewhere quicker. And, this was really just about the money the whole time, because, yeah, you are playing into the system. But again, I think his intention was well met. I think he surpassed that by sticking to it well past what people thought he would, because a lot of people probably thought he would have backed out a long time ago and just been like, just give me a job. And he did not do that. And so I don't really think that I can talk about selling out in respect to his situation, because I really do feel like he surpassed anything that he probably expected this to go into.
So,
a Nike commercial?
So let me ask you this then, because I agree with a lot of what you said, but I'm just curious, like, at what point do you expect Kaepernick to give his share his expectations and what he wanted and his intentions and all that sort of stuff?
Did you want to hear from the man? What you're saying?
Yeah. Because I agree with what you're saying, but it's like, he took the Nike back, so it's like,
yes, okay.
That's the only thing I have about his intentions.
That was a Kumbaya commercial,
right? No, you're definitely right. It definitely was. It dealt with a bunch of other issues and really just watered everything down. Just like all these Students of Color Coalition things like that happen because people want to they want the watered down version. Everybody loved those equality commercials because the simple fact that it was watered down, and it got attention off of the fact that black bodies and brown bodies are in the streets every single day, dead in cold blood. So yes, I definitely agree with that. However, I'm thinking about, a long time ago, I was asked a similar question just about Black Lives Matter and basically, what was going on there and why it was kind of like a headless body and why there were so many different people doing their own thing.
George
and
Soros.
My response to that was never look to any person for any type of relief of anything, because they're always going to be out in their best interest. That just is what it is. There's a few, and there are few and far between people that have actually lived their lives for other people and have died in those same rights. There's very few people.
Facts.
And Muhammad Ali wasn't one of them. He didn't die. I mean, he risked a lot, and yes, but truthfully, he died because of his sport. So that's a whole different situation. But he did a lot. Yes, he did. But he didn't die for the cause. And there are a lot, and there are few people that actually
did. He lived for the cause.
He
lost everything for the cause.
That's fair, but it's different to say you lived and died for the cause. There's a very different conversation.
Malcolm X died for the cause. MLK died for the cause.
For doing what they did, it's very different.
And Ali,
levels to it.
And Ali might have been if he wouldn't have stopped talking for like the last 30 years of his life.
Sam Cooke was
possibly, but that's speculation. We can't go there because that's speculation.
Sam Cooke was killed for the cause. Otis Redding, Teddy Pendergrass, they died for the cause. Go watch the documentaries too.
Malcolm X, a lot of Black Panther Party people. I mean, yes, there's definitely people that died for the Sandra Bland. I mean, if we really want to get into it, but
somebody else died in that jail, by the way, recently.
What?
Someone else was murdered in that jail, by the way.
Oh wow!
Same cell as her too.
So, damn. Okay, well, that's fucking deep and a whole different discussion. But those things are very different. And so, I guess to get back to your point about him taking it, I just never looked to one person. And when you have one person that is speaking out so blatantly and doing those things, historically, they have been assassinated and taken down. So we have to make sure that we're doing it in a very strategic way, just like Black Lives Matter. A lot of people did not agree with it because there were different people doing their own thing and everything. However,
and I haven't heard from
I guarantee that if somebody would have been the head and somebody would have been, the total spokesperson, they would have been taken down. It's just historical fact, and we have to be a lot more strategic about how we, lead to, our liberation of our own selves. I mean, it starts in the mind, but you can't look to anybody. And so I don't even know if the conversation warrants being conversed at all, because it's like, he did what he did, and now what is on you? Like, I can't put a now what on Colin Kaepernick. I can't.
Then let me ask you this. As someone,
I feel it.
You brought up history books and stuff, and I know you work with youth. So let me ask you this: like, how do you share the legacy of Colin Kaepernick? Like, what do you tell the young black student that comes up to you with their Black History project being about Colin Kaepernick?
I'd probably steer them in a different way because I feel like there's even other people in the present day that would probably represent what's going on in this time much better.
But I mean, there are adults doing that, like.
That's true.
Yeah,
okay, that's fair. Okay,
someone's going to dress for Kaepernick.
Like people, like he's going to be an icon, whether he wanted to or not, or we want him to or not.
Right. This is true. I always feel like also too, your legacy precedes you. I mean, I don't know if he will be remembered in the same exact way because I feel like people will say like, he started a movement with the knee, and it's like.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you being on the ground, like. How do you address that? How do you deal with that?
I would say, okay, this is exactly what I would say. I would say do your research and find, and try to find out as much as you can, obviously, about the situation when it first happened. But also, too, athletes historically have been silenced. Athletes historically have been put into this box, and they still are, and told that basically this is just an extension of slave ownership, and this is what it is. So for him to even step outside of that box or take a knee outside of that box, just in general, puts him above many, many people that have said that they've done things for the cause. Because clearly bringing that to attention on a national scale does not happen every day. Because we have a lot of people that say that they're for the cause and they say that they're for the people, and yet they are not doing anything to hurt their bag. And that's a lot of, and just like you guys had mentioned about the Super Bowl, nobody got on Cardi B for still performing. Nobody got on Chloe Akali for still performing, because guess what? It still didn't hurt their bag. They still took what they needed to take, even though it didn't get, coverage like Travis Scott and all those things. So for the simple fact that he allowed it to affect his bag in a huge way, meaning that it could have affected his family, it affected his safety, everything around him, his whole world could have literally come crashing down rather than the status that it took because of social media and other things like that put it out there. He literally took a step in the right direction that really did start a movement. Whether or not those were his intentions, and I would be very clear about that, I think that even still, to even, comprehend the fact that this could literally end my career and everything that I've worked for up until this point, shows you that yes, the man is worthy to be studied and to have a legacy, because he didn't have to. I mean, clear as day, he didn't have to. He could have donated to charities and people still would have pumped him up. But he decided, no, I'm going to do something a little bit more and push it a little bit more, because guess what? It's happening at a ridiculous level and people need to take note. So he still deserves a legacy that says that, yes, he was a part of something greater than him. However, were those his intentions? I mean, I don't think so necessarily, but I still think it led to something great. So.
All right, Ryan. Well, thanks for sharing a bunch of stuff with us. It was really good. We appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, thanks for your perspective.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. I mean, keep doing your thing. I appreciate the conversation, and just in the future, just know that these conversations have so many areas that you could go into and really dive into. It's hard to really say what you would say about one person, because clearly this has more to do with the bigger picture. But I do appreciate the conversation on it, touching tangents. So keep doing your thing.
All right, have a good night. Thank you. Stay warm.
Right. No problem. You too. Bye.
Yeah, man, that was a really good conversation. I felt like it really kind of helped me wrap my head around how I feel. And I guess my real issue isn't necessarily with Colin Kaepernick, more so than it is
the fight, the
reaction to it all, both from the beginning and now in the resolution.
And you're like, what's the next step in the fight? Well,
because
it starts with me and you and us and we.
Well, I mean, I think she just hit it, head on the hammer. And like, it's about his intentions. Like, we don't know what his intentions were when he started, and we don't really know what they are now. So, I mean, I can't really say it is a success or a failure without knowing what the overall
master plan is,
goal and objective was and still is. So, yeah, I mean, like she said, I mean, it came down to getting his career back, and that's essentially what he got. So,
yeah,
all the other stuff is just kind of like from other people. I mean, really, but that's also kind of like why I am mad at Kaepernick, because he is letting so many other things speak for him, like Nike and Eric Reed and all these other things, and he's not really taking control of his own narrative. And sharing it straight from the horse's mouth. Like,
but I mean, when he was talking while he was playing. Sorry, I sneezed really hard just now. When I think about when he was playing before, the media immediately spun it and made him a bad guy. So I get why he would want to talk to the media, because a lot of people in the media.
That's not a good. Nah, I'm not giving him that cop out. His girl's in the media.
Yeah,
that's not a good. That's not a good.
I'm not speaking as that's what I believe. I'm just saying.
And he got a lot of good coverage from the undefeated, and like he got plenty of.
He
good.
just didn't talk.
He got plenty of good. Yeah,
he just talked. But I'm just saying.
I mean, and not to draw parallels to like Muhammad Ali, but like
Muhammad Ali, dude
literally couldn't like work.
Yeah,
like anywhere. Like he literally had to go to Africa. Like
he was
to
the
fight.
best. Yeah, he was the best in his profession, and it was still taken.
And he couldn't even get a passport.
Yeah.
To go fight in Africa, to go fight in other countries, they wouldn't even give him a passport because of his ties to the black Muslims.
Yeah, and also like they knocked him for the whole not wanting to go fight in a war that wasn't ours in the Vietnam War. And well, if you go talk to a bunch of black veterans about the Vietnam War, you'll find out some shit. They like what they would play over the loudspeakers, like, black man, this isn't your fight. Like a lot of stuff happened. So I will say, in the history of NFL, I would say Kaepernick isn't a Muhammad Ali. I'd say he's more closer to a Curt Flood. But I forgot to ask Ryan, should he ever
meaning that now we're going to have activism in sports moving forward because of him?
No. That like
he's the catalyst?
He's the catalyst for negotiations and nonprofit, how things are going to change. But I don't think I think he's, because, I mean, I don't know. He's not Muhammad Ali. He's not Curt Flood. He's somewhere along the line. But, again, as she said, and she made a great point, and this is a really great point, and it's something I have to deal with. If more people stood with me, then we wouldn't be talking about what else do I need to do. But more people didn't stand with him. And everybody was hard body about it and said, you know, we're going to go start our own league. Because all you need to play football
is other people.
Is a field and people.
Yeah.
But, like, and it goes back to the whole coalition idea, and we're all in this together. Just because there's NFL players in the union don't mean the players are united, because they're not. Do you want to talk about how bad the NFL Players Union is? It's pretty bad.
But yeah, man. So let me ask you the final note, and then we can just kind of close out the show since we pretty much are over time already. How are you going to remember and look back at this whole Kaepernick situation 5-10 years from now? What is it going to mean to you?
I mean,
specifically you.
Specifically me. I think about my situation and other situations, and it just comes back to the same premise. He did what was best for him in the situation. That's all you can really do. To any other causes that are bigger than him, I have to ask, what did the people next to him do and help him fight? Because we love to put it on one person, and whether it's the black community or just in general, we love to make one person our hero. And we love to make that one person the person who shoots through a glass ceiling for us and break those glass ceilings. But what we like to forget is, and I've said this before, we love to forget that the person who busts through that glass ceiling for you usually is left to bleed out and die on the floor somewhere. And everybody else just shoots through the ceiling. Not many people really check on that person and make sure they're okay. Like, we love a hero, but we love to see someone fall. But do we ever really go back to pick them up? That's rare. And he probably had to look about his future and see, I'm never going to make money in the NFL ever again. I got to get him for all it's worth. And I can't blame a man for coming in with all the ammo he needed to go into court and force the NFL to pretty much take a knee, as other people have said. I can't get mad at that.
Get your corny newspaper headline ass out of here.
I'm not the one who said it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ray. Ray said that. First off, don't disrespect Ray like that. But now, Ryan said, yes, Muhammad Ali was prolific in his approach, and I don't think Cap was ever on that same wavelength.
Well, I think more even so than that. I mean, Ali adapted. Ali changed at 18 years old. Like, at that point, he realized he wasn't living for himself. He literally had a moment where he worked his entire life, ran around the streets of Louisville, Kentucky, telling everyone he's the greatest, telling everyone he's going to be the Golden Gloves champion, telling everyone he's going to win the gold medal. Does it, delivers, wins a gold medal, comes home with his gold gloves, is running through the city, living his best life, happy. What happens?
He realizes he's a black man in America.
How does that happen? He goes to a diner, can't sit at the counter, does anyways, because he's Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay at the time, and essentially, in his hometown, a town he putting on the map, gets chased out of this diner by a group of white men, and at that point, he just has a self-realization that no matter what I do, like, I'm always just going to be seen as a black man. I'm always going to be seen as less than. And so he walks into a pawn shop, tries to sell his gold medal. They realize the gold medal is not worth anything. It's not really gold. And so he realizes all that he's worked for his young life is really essentially for nothing because it's worth nothing. He got no respect.
Bullshit.
And so he throws his medal into the water. And from that point, his whole life changed. His whole perspective on life changed. And we knew what his intentions were because they were always vocalized. It wasn't just, oh, now all of a sudden I'm political. All of a sudden I'm Muhammad Ali. He always let people know he was the greatest. He always let people know what he stood for. But that was just a tangent on Muhammad Ali.
Not everybody can be that boisterous person.
Exactly. And I get it.
Do you know what Al Heyman looks like?
I get it. And I think...
Answer my question. You know who Al,
no.
you know who Al Heyman is? Mm-hmm. He's literally like a black dude he pretty much forced HBO out of boxing. One of the greatest boxing promoters of all time. He's the reason Floyd got out of his contract with Bob Arum, and he made Floyd a millionaire. He's made a bunch of other people millionaires. And you can't find 7 pictures of Al Heyman anywhere on earth.
I've heard of him.
He could walk in this room and spit in your face, and you still wouldn't know who the hell he is.
I wouldn't know what he looked like now.
Exactly. So not everybody works behind the scenes different. Me?
No. But let me finish. Let me bring it back to Kaepernick. No, I get what you're saying. Yeah. And, I've heard this point a lot of time. You can't force someone to adopt a cause, whether or not they're bought into it or not. That's their choosing. Right? And so I get it. One person can't change the world. One person was never going to change the world. Realistically, this athlete wasn't going to change the world. But I guess the part that's the most disheartening and the most sad is the fact that this could have been that person. This could have been the dude who built himself a big enough brand that he didn't need football anymore. This could have been the dude who didn't need to move on with his life like you had to maintain and to build yourself. He could have kept going with this for a long time.
For the right reason.
He didn't have to. I mean, yeah, you're right. He didn't have to. And maybe he wasn't always going to. Maybe he is ready to move on with his life. I don't know. But I guess, like I said, the saddest and most disheartening part of it is that he could have been.
You wanted him to.
You wanted him to because he
I think, you wanted him to because I can tell from a place of like, finally, someone who's that close to the brass ring who can break it up and divide it to the people, and we can really change we can create a paradigm shift, and he doesn't do it.
It's not even...
He doesn't do what you would have probably done in that
It's
situation.
not even that. More so of like, I mean, yeah, it's kind of partially that, but like again, you know, I think about Ali, and Ali didn't get it back from Nike during that time.
He got it back from no one but other boxers behind the scenes.
Yeah, like literally, he was generating hype to fight Wilt. Like he literally staged a whole fake fight with Wilt Frazier in the park to generate hype for himself, because there was no social media. Like, he was a boxer. Like, he literally had no other avenues of revenue. Now we live in a different era, and Kaepernick built these other things, and he could have did these other things, and he was able to maintain himself in a way that Ali couldn't do in the 60s.
Yeah.
So he could have kept going, as Ali did.
I think you wanted the man to be the solution to the problem.
I mean, like you said,
really,
realistically,
money was
it's never going to
solution
happen.
to the problem.
Really, realistically, that was never going to happen. But
you hoped for it.
yeah, he could have been the one.
Money wins in this situation. Now, like white supremacy, racism, all that stuff, it's not going to stop. He could get pulled over by the cops tomorrow. Is what it is. The government could go after him for that money. It is what it is. But, by the way, let's all pray and, guard Nipsey Hussle with all our lives, because he's doing a documentary on Dr. Sebi. And Dr. Sebi, if you know who he literally cured cancer and herpes and a bunch of other stuff. And then he brought 77 people with him to court, to the Supreme Court, when they said, prove that you cured all these people, and he did. So, yeah. And also there was like a year where like, I think over 100 herbal doctors were murdered in 1 year, and nobody know what the hell happened or how it happened. So yeah, there's cures in nature and all around us. That's why they keep destroying rainforests. But whatever. That was a tangent.
Hey, but one thing I do want to talk about on a tangent, we gotta talk about how
Bum-ass Antonio Brown.
No, besides all that, we're not gonna have. We can talk about that next week.
I feel like we could talk about it in 5 minutes.
We'll have all that next week.
I feel like we can talk about it in 5 minutes.
No, we really don't need to. Like we're gonna be straining for content over the next few weeks, anyways.
No, you won't.
We're gonna be talking about the same things that we would have talked about tonight. So honestly, I'm fine with this just being the Kaepernick episode.
I believed in you.
Like really,
you had a chance to be the change, and you didn't do it.
Like really, like what are you gonna say this week that you can't say next week? Exactly. I don't even remember what I was gonna say.
There you go.
Where was I? I don't.
You got off the Kaepernick and Muhammad Ali tangent.
You were talking about,
and I was talking about. Oh shit.
Yeah, I totally forgot.
Because I thought I was like gonna go off what you said, but no, pretty much. Yeah, we're not talking about Antonio Brown this week.
I know what I was gonna say. Tangent. We gotta talk about how Netflix is essentially a gatekeeper.
Yeah.
By how not only how they surface content in their algorithms,
they canceled The Punisher
with their own content being, first. But besides that,
what is Apple doing?
The way they categorize movies is a form of framing and agenda setting, and I would love.
He said my word.
And I would love to really study and dive into that, because I've seen a lot of documentaries labeled conspiracy,
and YouTube is deleting all conspiracy, quote unquote, conspiracy theory videos off YouTube. So,
well, Pinterest has deleted
what's a conspiracy?
herbal health recommendations and stuff like that.
Instagram should,
Facebook too.
Instagram should delete Instagram thirst traps.
That's impossible.
Watch that app lose money.
Shout out to my boy Nick. That dude be thirst trapping every day. Thirst trapping dudes.
He might sue you or fight you. I'm not gonna say
anything. Anyways, man. All right.
My Angel Lookaway pick was still dope.
Is there anything you were gonna say in the rant? Because I feel like we started with the rant, so I feel like we can officially end the show.
Do you really want to go last? Or do you
I really don't have anything that I want to say. I already said at the top of the show, and it pretty much trickled into Kaepernick. So unless you really want something to rant on, I would just say we end it.
I got a couple things to say.
All right, go for it.
All right, I just want to say, fuck cancer. It sucks. It's terrible. I just want to say, everybody, send out your prayers to a friend of the show and fellow CSUN alum and journalist, Alex Vehar. His mother this morning passed away from stage 4 lung cancer.
Wow.
And
condolences.
He had a very powerful Instagram post, and yeah, I'd say his at, you can add him at Alex V Reporting, AlexVreporting. Please flood his Twitter timeline, his Facebook page, and his Instagram with well wishes and condolences, because the family really needs it right now. I know 2 people who've lost their mother, and both those people were under the age of like 32. That's some heavy shit. I don't know what I would do if I lost my mom. And yeah, I pray for Vehar, man. Just pray for him, pray for his family. Fuck cancer. Yeah, I'm really like this episode. We got a lot. Sometimes, like, and this is just a hallmark of this show, we don't really give a fuck about the stats. I like, if I wanted to read off stats and ports and numbers, I would go like start a YouTube channel and chase down leads and try to be like this old school reporter. Like, no, we want to talk about sports and culture in a nuanced fashion that when you listen to it, you realize, oh, this weren't just 2 people blowing out their ass for like an hour or 2 hours. So I hope you take that away from this show, because that's what we want to provide. That's what we think about every day when we do this. And that's the true intention of what Touchdowns and Tangents is. We'll give you sports, but you need to pay attention to the tangents. Because chances are, whatever we're talking about, it may not hit you this week. It may not hit you next week. But it'll eventually hit you. And you'll wish someone was there to have that conversation with you, or at least to hear it. And I hope you take heed to what was said tonight. We don't have the answers. We just have options and things to think about. I can't tell you to be a morally right person. I can't tell you you should do this, you should fight and die on this hill. That's up to you. But if you're going to be on code, be on code. If you're going to be about that life, be about that life. But have some integrity while you do it. That's all we ask. And pray for your fellow man. And don't be a fuckboy. Don't be a shithead.
Don't take wings pics.
First off, I might.
But yeah, no, that was a great way to end the show. So just hold your petty comment for off air. Let's end on that.
There was no petty comment. Yeah. Shout out to my mom. Shout out to everybody who made my birthday very special.
Happy birthday to you once again.
Thank you.
Condolences to Vehar and his family. Touchdowns and Tangents. Shout out to the Good News radio station. Secret word is good, in case you missed it. Shout out to X Squad affiliates and FBC Radio for always messing with us. And shout out to your favorite podcast app where you may or may not be listening to the show. But either way, if you can do one thing for the show, we just ask that you share it with somebody else who you think might appreciate a non-traditional sports show that bleeds into culture and everything that entails. And hopefully it will add value to their life and help them get through their day. And they'll thank you. And you guys will have an even better relationship. So, yeah. Touchdowns and Tangents. I'm Pete D. Camarillo.
I'm Kenneth Frank James Berry.
He's at Ozo Grande on Twitter.
Ozo Grande.
I'm at Pete Certified. You can find all our stuff at TDs_tangents on both Instagram and Twitter. That's really our main avenues, but we're all over the place. So you can pretty much just type that in and find it. All right. Have a good week. Keep fighting for the cause. Never give up. Don't ever give up. One more time, like Jimmy V said. Don't give up.
Yeah.
And oink oink.
I don't know what song's gonna play right now. I just rewound the episode and yeah. Sorry, we fucked up on the sound this week.
And we're live.